Good morning. It is the beginning of my last full day, meaning I'm spending the night in the park. I just pulled off my campsite on Maple Lake, not to move on because I'm not going anywhere today, just to because I can. But my main goal is to go collect some firewood and get that chore done. Early. So for my first landing, I picked that rock there. A really awkward takeout for a few chunks of definitely not great wood. That was not a good call on my part. I cut like 4 pieces of wood and I said, forget it. They're not worth it. So I've been at work for a while. As expected, I literally had to walk 15 feet into the forest to find not one, not two, but as many blowdowns as I wanted to pick and choose from. You sometimes start forgetting what a real forest looks like when you're used to wandering behind Algonquin campsites. But yeah, so I've been cutting it into size lengths that will fit into the back of my kayak, into the rear hatch, and to be able to fit as many as possible in there, I've been taking off all the branches as well. The saw to cut it into lengths, my knife to my fixed blade knife to hack off the branches. It's a lot easier than the saw, believe me. So this is the result. And you know, a bunch of twigs and stuff, which is mostly the branches that were getting chopped off. So I'm gonna stuff all mosquitoes. I'm gonna stuff all of these in the rear hatch. I think I can probably fit them all. If not, I can always stick a couple in the cockpit with me, maybe, or get them down near the water's edge, get in the cockpit, and then set them on top of me or something. But I think I can probably fit them all with a little bit of care. If I have to take those few pieces of driftwood out and chuck them, this is much better wood. So, so yeah, I've already got my exercise for the day. No, there's no chance I'm going to burn all of that wood. I have no intention of you know, running a campfire all day or anything. It's going to be super hot. I don't need a fire to aid to that. The fire will be for this evening. And I'd like to, this is my last night in Algonquin this year, so I'd like to stay up later than usual, and I'd like to have a campfire right into the darkness, and say goodbye until next year. As I mentioned, I was swimming with, alright, I was swimming naked. I just I went down to the water's edge. I haven't seen anybody in 2 days. I went down to the water's edge. I stripped down, I dove in, not so much as glancing around first, because I just assumed there was nobody. And I dove in, and I came up, and I looked to my right, and there's a dude in a canoe. He must have seen me. He must have seen me strip down and dive in. So, I mean, he was okay, kind of in a little bit of the distance, but heading towards me. And he paddled right past me, and I'm just treading water, hoping he can't see the fact that I'm butt naked. Alright, let's try this again. Last video. I'm heading for my tent now. I'm down at the water's edge. I watched the sun go down. I cheers to Algonquin with a last bit of rye. And had a incredibly wonderful evening. To have a place like this in my life is just unbelievable. And that I get to come here by myself. That I'm happy to come here by myself makes it that much more special. Next camping season seems a long way away right now, but at least I have the 6 portages down Maple Creek to remind me it's not all this fun. Alright, the mosquitoes are starting to get a little annoying, so I'm going to call it a night. That is one portage along Maple Creek down, a whopping 130-meter carry. Okay, so this is portage number 2 down Maple Creek, the 805-meter along falls. So 800 meters should be a one-shot walk, but it depends. It mostly depends on the falls. If they look, if it looks like there's something neat to take a picture of or take a short video of, then I may use it as an excuse to take a break. I just finished the 805. Holy mother, would I not want to be doing that in the other direction. And the screwy thing is I have, and I don't remember it. I must have been exhausted. About halfway through, there's a canoe rest, right at from my direction, right at the top of a very steep, slippery, treacherous footing and long descent. It must have been a good 100-meter, like distance-wise. I don't mean a 100-meter elevation drop, but every step was picking and choosing, and you know, it was a really slow and cautious descent, where a misstep or a slip could have really hurt. So climbing in the other direction would have been grueling, like grueling. In any case, I'm through it. 2 down, 4 to go. I did single carry it, without a rest. Even with the water that my gear picked up from my leaking hatch, I'm really light. So it's I kind of feel like I could skip. Do not skip. Alright, whoops. Would have been nice and impressive to start off a portage slipping and falling on literally the first step. So I'm just starting the third portage down Maple Creek, which is the 6:30. There's a campsite right at the portage marker there. It's an ugly, rude little thing. And the portage trail literally walks right through it. So nobody's ever staying there by choice. They're staying there because they got screwed over with bad weather, or really bad weather to stay there, or they're behind schedule. And the only way I'd stay there is if it had gotten dark. Navigating that creek in the pitch black, there were quite a few surprise rocks. They'd be even bigger surprises in the darkness. Okay, I just pulled in back into the creek after the 6:30 meter portage, and now I get the longest paddle I've had down the creek yet. There is one longer one, but I got two more portages before that. Creek is a word that has a lot of meanings, I think, or rather there's a wide range of bodies of water that can be defined as a creek. Earlier this year I traveled down David Creek between Mabwayaka and a portage into Roseberry, and it was in places like maybe twice the width of my kayak. I couldn't, half the time I was paddling against the bank because I couldn't put my paddle in the water. Whereas Maple Creek, I mean, creek is definitely still the right word for it. But, you know, it's got falls. It's got a decent body of water in it. A decent volume of water in it. It's, so far it's been a really nice paddle. I mean, as much as you're portaging as much as you're paddling. Yeah, I'd say overall you actually portage a little bit more of the creek than you paddle, but it's nice in this direction anyways. So yeah, the only part of this route that I wasn't necessarily looking forward to was this paddle down Maple Creek. Well, not the paddling, the portaging. But I gotta say, especially since it's still quite early morning. This is such a serene and peaceful paddle. That's I'm revising my opinion. This has been really nice so far. Oh! Okay, the 190 Maple Creek to Maple Creek has been completed, and now I have the longest stretch of paddling of the entire creek journey ahead of me, and I forgot to turn on that camera. So my Maple Creek paddling journey is rapidly drawing to a close here. I think that's another 100 meters or so, and I'm going to be at the end, or rather at the start of the 915 into Kayak. Big rock. So, I just worked my way over a big log here, about to push down the beaver dam, and I look that way. You probably can't see it, but that's the portage marker. So now I have to get back over this log against the current to get where I need to be. There's a rock here. Oops. Well, at least I noticed before I went over the dam. That would have just sucked. Alright. So yeah. That is the end of my paddling adventures, at least. Oh! And that's what happens when you're talking instead of watching. That will be the end of my paddling adventures when I figure out how to get into this freaking portage. Now, when I say the end of paddling, I mean the end of paddling Maple Creek. I still have a good chunk of Kayak, Kakui to paddle, and it's a pretty big lake. Alright, so 9:15, and my portaging is done, not only for the day, but for the trip and for the year. To me, if you haven't gotten over a portage or two, you're not really camping. Like I say, I'm a snob. Part of it is just, of course, it greatly reduces the number of people. But I don't know, I feel like part of the beauty of being out in a place like this is having to work to get to that beauty. You know, for me, I feel like I enjoy it that much more when I pull up on a beautiful, beautiful campsite like I had on Maple, having, you know, cumulatively paddled and portaged, I don't know, 30 kilometers maybe? Maybe not quite that much. But just, you know, I had to work for it. And to pull up on a site like that, having carried your gear and paddled and carried and paddled and carried, just feels like you've earned it. Whereas unloading your crap from your car, and I've seen this with people who are camping at access points, filling up a canoe to the freaking brim with anything and everything, because why not? You don't have to carry it. And then, you know, paddling half an hour across the lake and setting up camp. It's like, okay, you know, more power to you. I'm not I was going to say I'm not judging, but this entire rambling statement has been about me judging. You're welcome to it, let me put it that way. The access point lakes clearly get used, or they wouldn't have campsites on them. So there's people who enjoy that, and good on them. And, you know, I'm leaving out people for whom what I'm doing right now just isn't feasible, whether they're physically infirm, unwell in some way, or just, you know, past the age where this sort of thing is reasonable to do. And for those people to still put in the effort to paddle across to a site instead of just unloading their car. You know, for them, my opinion is the exact opposite, which is good on you. You know, for you, you did work at it. You did work for it. Goodbye, Maple Creek. Hello, Kiosk.